Hey guys, Mike Burris here with Spirit Music Meetups. Wanted to show you a really neat stick trick that you can see out there on the internet, but they usually don't slow it down enough to figure it out. But it's learning how to go from traditional grip, which is like this, to match grip. So what you do is you go like that. So what it is you got to get it from the two fingers here to the one finger. So it's got to be between these two fingers. And then you just flip the back end to this side and you're back into this, like so. It's like this. So you're going to come up. This back end is going to flip over your stick. And then you got to move your finger from here. That's how you're going to end up back into the regular match grip. So you're like this. You get into this groove. Then you get this back end flipping over. So it's got to go under and move your hand from facing up to over. So you're like this, and then you got to go like that. So you're like this, and then you got to go like that. So you're like this, palm up. That's match grip. Two fingers. You get into this grip, like your peace sign, and then you got to flip this like this, see? And then I turn my hand over. Okay, so you're gonna go like that. So you're like this, and you go like that. You're like this. Then you flip your finger under there as you're playing. You flip it under like that, and then you come over the top. So you're like this. You flip it over. So you're like this. You flip it over. So now I'm going to just get it. I'm going to show you how to get the other direction too. So you're like this. So you got to learn how to flip your hand over. Like this. Alright? Alright? Now, how do you get from here back to here? A little more difficult. So you're like this, playing your fulcrum, then you're going to put your finger, see, you got to get back into this peace sign. And I recommend getting it down deep, because you'll lose the stick if it's like this. So you got to get it down deep. So you're playing like this, you get it into this groove, you kick, you got to basically turn your hand back over. So you got to kick this back in like this. So the bottom is got to curve, and now you're into this grip, and then you got to flip your fingers back. So you're going to go back like this. Now you can go straight from this. You don't do this very often, but you're straight from this. You're already in your peace sign, and you flip it. So you got to turn your hand upside down like this. So you got to kick that back in. And so it causes it to do this. So you might want to practice just, you got to get down in here. So you might want to practice just doing this. You got to kind of do this like this. You got to get out away from your drums, right? Because you don't want to hit cymbals and drums while you're doing this. So, see, I'm turning my hand up. See that, kicking my elbow. Now it caused the stick momentum will continue to spin in my fingers, and I'll end up in the traditional grip. Then I move my finger back into playing position. So back here like this. Now you can go straight from here, right? You see that? I just twirl. So it's learning how to turn your hand, which causes the twirl. See, turning my hand over causes the twirl. So you might want to just practice going back and forth, staying in your peace sign. Hit, 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 and then remember you got to get some momentum. You got to get the stick to spin. So you got to get that stick to move. So you got to da, da, da. So see how I'm moving my arm? I wouldn't do this necessarily. So playing, but the moving of the arm helps you see the motion. So I'm going down and I'm going up and down. Down and up and down. Up, down, up and down. So that's kind of slow. Now, the thing is, when you go back, I notice my problem is I don't get my thumb out of the way. So you got to get your thumb out of the way, because you got to get it. Sorry, hard to do this slow. You've got to get it into this groove. So if your thumb's in the way, it's going to hit the thumb. So you got to get it into that groove. So when this goes back around, you got to get your thumb out of the way. And that's been my problem, is I got to get my thumb out of the way so I can get into that groove. Just a repetition. I think your body just remembers things that you do over and over and over. I have a video on continuance for success. So you might want to practice 1, 2, 3, 4. So play in your traditional grip. And then get into this peace sign. 1, go 1, and then 1. Where you're up, that's when you get into the peace sign. See, now I'm in it. So you might want to just practice getting into the peace sign. Going out of the peace sign, into the peace sign. You got to be able to, at will, get into the peace sign. Then you can flip it over. Then learn how to flip back. So there's a lot of little motions, isn't there? I mean, you can play like that. It's kind of weird. Can't do any finger control because you don't have any fulcrum. All right? So you play like this, and then you get into peace sign. Then you kick it back, you turn your hand upside down, you get out of the way of the thumb, goes into the groove. Play. You can play like that if you want to for a while, and then get your fingers back into position. So once you learn how to do that, you want to add your right hand stick, just something to fill in. So just play something here, you know, something. See, now I did too low, so I hit the rim. It is a very troubling world we live in, my friends. There is going on every day. So much of this is crazy. So I'm going to just keep this out of the way so you can hear it. So I'm going down, 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 down. Flip it over, down, 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 down. So you might want to just learn how to do something, and then while it's in the air, so just have fun, you know, son. So I'm giving myself more time by playing 2 with my right hand. Right, right, left, 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 right, right, left. Now I'm never leaving the peace sign. I'm just staying the peace sign the whole time because I'm going back and forth. So I'm kind of afraid of hitting these poles, so I'm not spinning very. I'm not as good going backwards. So I'm still working on it, but I thought I'd pass it on. I figured it out, kind of slow motioning. I think it was Jojo Mayer that was showing this on Secret Weapons of the Modern Drummer. I was just kind of slow mowing it, trying to figure out, because he just went right through it really quick, and I'm like, I don't even know what you just did. So that's the problem with a lot of videos, DVDs, YouTube videos, is that they just go, oh, well, you know, I know I'm good. I hope you're as good as me. Here you go. Hope you get it. Well, I have a lot of students from 5 to 75, 5,000 plus students since 1998. I can't do that with anybody. I have to break it down. I have to do that for myself, step by step. You can do anything if you break it down. I mean, how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. That's how I'm going to eat an elephant, one bite at a time. But I was involved in a lot of computer programming, and I had these huge projects, development projects or whatever it is, interfacing projects, and you'd have to break it down into all kinds of steps, you know, very minute steps, so that you could know that you're going to get the right. You got to make sure all the steps add up. You know, 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. You know, you got to really make sure you have all the steps figured out ahead of time. And then you can start working on the first step, do a good job, go to the second step, and then eventually you end up doing all the steps and you get through this monster project. But it's so scary when you look at the monster project. You don't even know where to start. It's just terrifying. And you have to really think, what do I do first? What do I do second? And that's, we would write it down, you know. We'd brainstorm on a whiteboard, and then we'd write it down. That's what I've done with my drumming. So you'll see out on my drum website, go look at the link in this description. And go ahead and, you know, hit the subscribe button so you'll know when another video comes out, or else you'll never know. And then get the word out. Spread the love, as my friend Bob Kish would say. Spread the love. And he would say that to everybody coming into the restaurant. Hey, spread the love, you know. I agree. So just, you know, share this with other people. Help them out, you know. And you can always comment on the bottom. That really helps a lot of people with your own ideas, links to help other people figure stuff out, you know. So we're supposed to be helping each other. This world is so self-centered. Very selfish, you know, it's self-destructive. Whenever you become totally self-centered and you become self-destructive. You think all that matters is you, and that everybody's there to serve you. Well, guess what? That is absolutely wrong. Somehow they got into their head. And that's what our government's thinking. It's like they're totally self-serving. They're not representing the people at all. They're not even allowed to have representation government, because they're just said, hey, sign this bill, don't read it. You don't have any time to read this bill. It's 5,000 pages long. Who reads 5,000 pages? They purposely made it so long, full of, you know, lawyer legalese. I don't know if you ever read contracts. It's legalese. So it's just designed to intimidate people, confuse people. They don't even know what they're signing. And so we end up with horrible government. Basically a way to hide or money launder. It's called money laundering. This is how the businesses do it. This is how the mob used to run a lot of the blue or Democrat cities. They would control the cities by setting up fake businesses, bakeries, and launder the money through that. Illegal money from drugs, they would launder it through the businesses. Well, we have that going on right now. I don't know if you've been noticing that. I mean, nobody pays $50,000 a month for rent. That's very obvious money laundering. Nobody pays $50,000 a month to stay at his dad's house. Hunter Biden said he's paying $50,000 a month to stay at his dad's house for a long period of time. I think it's the Delaware house. And nobody does that. Nobody does that. So that's very obvious money laundering. It's like they would always find money laundering, like nobody pays $64 a pound for dough for a bakery. Nobody does that. So that right away, if you're looking at the books, you can see the money laundering. They got to find a way to make that money come in and out without being detected. And they do it through this called creative financing, creative accounting they call it. But it's called cooking the books. Cooking the books. It's an old thing they used to do in organized crime. Well, it's right in our president's family. Go figure that. So I hope the IRS zooms in on that. I mean, that's obvious tax evasion, tax fraud, because that was never claimed on his income tax. So go figure that. Well, all of them are doing this. Pelosi, all the illegal trading. A lot of people in government have become super, super rich since they've been in government. They didn't get broker. They got so rich it was crazy. Well, go look at Trump's taxes. He got significantly broker for his 4 years in office. Significantly broker because he didn't claim any of the income from the taxes from his presidency. He didn't take any of the income. He donated all that income. And then he wasn't involved in all this shady stuff. He was busy running the country. So he didn't have all this, trading stock behind everybody's back. He wasn't making all these behind closed doors deals and getting paid in the bank account by all these special interest groups. So, hey, it's all there on the taxes, and it's very clear as day. But we'll see. It all is going to come out in the end. You cannot escape the eye of God. You cannot escape the eye of God. So everybody's going to be found out at some point. So it's either then, which no return on that day, no return, nothing you can do about it. You've been caught. Now you got to pay the price. Got to pay the piper. But they should be caught now so that they can change their ways. You should get caught now, right? Well, I don't know how that came in, but I'm not really happy, as you can tell, by the government. Any of them. They're all doing stuff they shouldn't be doing to one degree or another. All right, God bless you. I look forward to your comments. Like I said, that's how we teach each other. And get the word out. And, it's really not a political channel. See that? So, see how I was playing like this? And flip over there. Okay, well, let's have some more tricks. Next video.